to replace the roof on the stores building out back. Seems relatively easy, fairly small building, not too bad. And then they took the roof off. And as they took the roof off, the first cinder block fell to the ground. So they thought, well, that's okay. We'll just take off the top row. And then the second row fell to the ground. And they said, well, it can't be that bad. We'll just keep going a little. And eventually we'll get to right where it's all stable. The last row of bricks hit the ground, and now we didn't know what to do. We had a budget for a roof, and a fairly inexpensive roof. Now we have a whole building. Everything's been moved inside, which took up all the classroom space for the cadets. We have nowhere to put them. They sleep here, they do classes here, they do training here, and we had nowhere. They have one little classroom up, upstairs, and this floor for close to 100 cadets. Not gonna work. So most of you, many of you know I probably have clothing addiction. I had a dilemma today. Okay, cadets don't read the tags. When I'm not at cadets, I'm hanging out with my motorcycle club brothers and sisters. And I talk about cadets a lot. They needed a hall to have a Christmas dinner one year. I said, oh, I think we can do that. So they had a 50-50 draw and donated the money to cadets for using the hall. I started talking about the dilemma with the roof and how the building came down and what that meant for us. And I don't think I actually finished the whole story before the volunteering started. I still was in shock when it happened. I'd never felt that before. I've had lots of people volunteer in the community to help us. And for these people who really had no cadet background, just to say, well, I can do electrical, and well, I used to be a roofer, and well, I can labor. Next thing we knew, we had a group who was going to volunteer all of their time, every weekend, in the rain. Did we get snow?
No, we were off that week.
I think we missed the snow week. I think we took a couple of weeks off here and there, but literally every weekend there was a group who came and helped us clear out the old building and build the new building. The first weekend started with parents and cadets, and they came and they moved cinder block, a lot of cinder block. And from there we carried on and started to figure out where do we go from here. We had to get permits all of a sudden. That wasn't expected. That's another expense. Materials, what's it gonna look like? What are we gonna put in it? Or can we put heat in it? It was all quite the adventure throughout, but it was really a team effort. We actually got Bill Coles. Bill was sort of the foreman of the crew. We actually had him out to the motorcycle club a few times, working on plans with us and having some food with us. We enticed him. We said, "You can come for breakfast." or, gee, Karen's out of town. We have dinner. So it was really kind of neat to see that friendship form. We talked about how do we recognize this. You know, the club has a clubhouse that they use at Sam's Funeral Chapel in the back. We don't have any other friends there when we're there.
Occasionally.
Well, once we did.
Yes.
And it was, you know, what do? Like, we can't put a plaque on everybody's motorcycle, and if you tried to, they'd probably kill you. Don't touch the motorcycles. So we talked about, you know, ways of recognizing them, and we thought that maybe this kind of an event would really speak to the community about partnership and how they have really come to our rescue. We tried to estimate the cost of the labor for this job, and we're guessing about $7,000. Plus there was materials donated from club members. Oh yeah, no, I got a whole bunch of this, I got that, tools, everything. So I'm sure the value is much more than then we started talking about, well, what do we want to call this place? And that's when John Chopa came to mind. John was a past branch president. He was also one of the original founding Quantifica Cadet Youth Society members. I knew John as a child, completely separate from cadets, so when I ran into him cadets, it was kind of funny. Scary too. John's the only president I know who locked a commanding officer out of the hall on purpose. To say he was a bit of a hard ass is probably right. But John was a lot of fun. John spent a lot of time at this hall and being part of this organization, and he was killed in a worksite accident about 11 years ago down at the base. So we thought, why don't we honor his memory and make sure that John's here all the way along. I'll tell you, this building is built so long, it's going to outlast all of us. That thing will never fall down. So we thought that's a way for John's memory to continue on. Lots of ideas around what to call it. Chopa Shop was the fun one. But I couldn't get anybody to agree to that. So it's Chopa Stores. And we're going to do a ribbon cutting at the end of today, out at Chopa Stores. I wanted you to know how it came about, why it's Chopa Stores, why it's so important to us, and why we want John's memory to last. What you may not know, and if you saw the sign with the names side by side, John and Mary were partners. So that's dedication. So thank you very much. I'd like to thank Canadian Motorcycle Cruisers. You are amazing, amazing people. I had no idea what I was getting myself involved in when I joined the club. I just wanted people to ride a motorcycle. I had no idea how much of a family it is and how important that is and how much of a family you've become with our cadets. When you guys pulled in today, after we got the kids out of the way, they were going, oh my God, that's so cool. All these bikes pulled up. And so I was standing on the grass talking to them saying, hey, those are the guys who built your stores building back there. Really? So thank you. Thank you from the cadets, from the society, from the branch, from all of us, for all of your work that you've done to help us out. Because that money, that's a year's worth of training. That's a lot of training for a lot of kids, and I can't thank you enough.